let's take a look at the second myth of evaluation, which is, I should tell people what not to do. Like, we should really stop doing this, do not do that. Well, what studies show, there's a concept called ironic process theory that was studied extensively by Daniel Wegner at Harvard. And what Wegner did first was he said, and I'd like you all to just try this out. I want you to just think right now. You don't have to think out loud, but just think of whatever you want to think for 30 seconds, but do not think about a white bear. So if you tell someone, do not think about a white bear, it's very hard to stop thinking about a white bear. You'll think about whatever you're thinking about, and count how many times white bear actually appears. So what he said was, it's interesting, if you try not to do something under stress, your brain actually does the opposite of that. And so many people have now researched and studied this and found that up to 80% of the general population have experienced intrusive, unwanted thoughts in their lives. And when you try to suppress something under stress, the brain activation is even greater. Other examples are, if you're at a party and you're holding a glass of red wine and you're walking past a white couch, why is it only when you're right by the couch that the wine somehow spills? It's partly because you're trying not to spill the wine. They've also looked at this in soccer players, and they find that when soccer players are scoring penalties, if they say do not kick the ball to the right using eye tracking devices, the eye goes immediately to the right. So as you're framing for yourself and you're framing for others, ask yourself, if you're going to tell someone not to do something, like, I'm sure you've seen this in children as well, right? You say, do not put your fingers there. They'll go directly to the thing and put their fingers there. Even under stress, the brain doesn't have the ability to manage the stress and do the thing that you're not supposed to do. Implications for evaluation are to avoid telling people what not to do and instead focus on what needs to be done. It's a very basic idea, but if the evaluant is suppressing a thought because they do not feel safe expressing it to you, they are likely to only focus on the thought that they're preoccupied by, and they don't feel psychologically safe. So the second question here for you is, do you deliver findings in the negative? Do you create psychologically safe environments where people feel open to expressing themselves? Because if they don't, they are likely not going to express themselves. So the first piece was about clarity and about how sometimes just being clear about the goals doesn't really help, because if there's no compassion, it's hard to receive the findings. The second piece has to do with avoiding using the word not under stress.